Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is a story that the Daily Record have uncovered that means the SNP will be losing even more money than the £1.5 million that I had suggested due to their short money and losing their ministerial levy. Now, it's a fantastic story. Before we start, welcome to the first ever international 10-minute moan because I'm not in Scotland. Some of you might have been sharp-eyed to realise the last one I done, I was in Manchester Airport Hotel waiting to go out the next morning abroad. I am now abroad, okay? And I'll be doing these probably to stick to one a day, but I might have to do two tomorrow because some information I passed on to a national newspaper will probably be in their front pages or thereabouts tomorrow. If that's the case, I'll do a special one on that. And you will be delighted, I'm sure, with the latest exclusive information I've been able to pass to a national newspaper. So this one is fantastic. The Daily Record headline on Paul Hutchins' story is SNP to take hit on more than £10 million after devastating general election loss. An exclusive MP staffing budgets will fall by around £9 million annually after last week's result. Now, this was something I wasn't sure of. I wasn't sure if all their staff had to get paid out their short money because basically that's what it's for. But there was something I didn't know. We'll cover that in a second. While we're on the topic of going abroad, not being paid for this, but just to tell you about this cracking thing that I've came across in the Iberian Peninsula. Damn lemon, D-A-M-N. It is, as they advertise it, 4 parts de cerveza, 4 parts de limon. So it's basically lager tops in a can, and it's lovely, 3.2% when you're enjoying the sun. Thoroughly recommend it. Anyway, oh, and by the way, if you want to sponsor the show while I'm over here, guys, more than welcome. So the story goes, the SNP will take a hit of more than £10 million a year following its general election hammering. Staffing budgets, blah, 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 will fall by £9 million. This is on top of the £1 million a year in short money due to the drop in seats and votes won. And former SNP MSP Alec Neil said these losses will be debilitating for the SNP. He said the drop in short money and the loss of staffing allowance, this will present a great challenge for the SNP as staff are the backbone of a party at Westminster and MP's offices. It will be a drastic impact on the SNP being able to propagate its case and communicate with voters. The general election was a disaster for the Nationalists after the party dropped from 45 MPs to 9, but the losses are also financial. Now, this is a bit that I wasn't sure of. Each MP from outside London can spend up to £250,820 for staffing from publicly funded allowance system. The money is available to MPs, not their party, to spend in staff. So this money will not be a loss to them on their accounts because that's unlike the short money and the ministerial levy that they get. This money doesn't go into them and then let them pay staff. What it's for is for the MPs that are down there to pay staff directly. And what will happen is the money gets paid straight from Westminster, not to the person who would then pay the staff. Westminster pay the staff directly. So although it won't help the downfall of the financial downfall of the SNP because it won't cut any money that they're currently getting, it will cut drastically their ability to run as a party because this £9 million worth of staff are gone. They won't be able to work for them anymore. So they will not. The only way this could hurt them really worse is if they've been cheating, right? Because let's say, for example, they found somebody to do a job for the SNP HQ, which is in Edinburgh, but get paid by Westminster to do it, then these people will feel that they work for the SNP and not for the MP who happens to be placed at Westminster. Do you follow where I'm going? So if this £9 million does affect the SNP's bottom line, it's only because they've been cheating the system. They wouldn't do that, would they? They wouldn't, for example, pay staff through the Westminster money and have them doing other work for the party, would they? Certainly not. They wouldn't be doing anything like that. So it shouldn't affect the bottom line and it shouldn't affect the stuff that they get up to as a party. I think we all know it will, right? Because there's ways round about it. So what it says here is, the SNP as a whole were entitled to £11.2 million before the election, but with the Nationalists only winning 9 seats last week, that sum's dropped to 2.2. The staffing budget for SNP MPs is now £9 million less than it was before the election was called. We also reported last week that the SNP would miss out nearly £1 million in public money elsewhere. The party will receive £946,917 less in short money annually due to losing dozens of MPs and 500,000 votes. This pot funds opposition parties to help carry out parliamentary business and often spent on press officers and researchers. This is different money. This is a short money that we'd already counted. Professor, damn lemon, what? Professor James Mitchell, based at Edinburgh University, said the SNP was in great difficulty financially even before losing 39 MPs. It's now in a parlous state financially. The loss of so many full-time politicians with accompanying staff and expenses removes the SNP's ability to maintain a high profile it become used to across most of Scotland. The SNP does not have alternative sources of income to fill this massive gap. He added the SNP will struggle as it heads towards the Holyrood elections, dealing with consequences of losing so much income with redundancies of staff, cutbacks in activities and the inevitable damage to morale. Will take up a lot of time, effort and will be emotionally draining and contribute to already mounting ill feeling. And the predicted internal fighting and blame games make the SNP prospects in 2 years look bleak. The SNP has already started letting go some Westminster staff after last week's defeat. The sharp drop in support for the SNP and their MPs comes at a time when the party is already struggling financially. People are starting to cotton on, aren't they? I've been telling you this for, 6 months, right? Their finances are shot. We've really kicked into them. Scottish people battered them at like even better than I'd hoped for, right? I think if we'd have half their MPs, it would have made a significant, perilous inroads into their finances. To get them down to 9 is just mental, right? But it's good now that other people are starting to see it. It's good now that the mainstream are starting to report it, because that will actually make it even worse. Sorry, me howling at the moon, right, and telling 20 to 100,000 people when I put out some videos that, you know, they're running out of money. But now that the mainstream, we've seen the Daily Record, we've seen the BBC, we've seen all different mainstream outlets now discuss their perilous financial position. That will not help them. What else it won't help is I'm trying to cover it up, right? So, just trying to think anything else here. Just tells you about their auditors last year. Now, their accounts will be due in last week to the Electoral Commission. So they already have their accounts for 2023. And the public should have a look at them within the next probably 2 to 3 weeks. And then we'll be able to have a look at what income problems that's going to give them and where they are, because the last time we had any accounts, the 2022 accounts, the party lost £800,000 that year, which wasn't a year with any elections, so it shouldn't have been that high. But they lost 800,000 and they had about 50 grand of cash in the bank at year end. So, it'll be interesting to see what it looks like at the end of 2023, and we'll know that within a few weeks. So, where do they go from here? I don't know. Maybe Branchform will be back and, you know, pop its head up. Oh, is that election gone? And they might have an input to make, which could be negative or positive, right? They might come out and say, that's it, we'll get no more investigations and just carry on with one case at the Procurator Fiscals. But they did say publicly the last time they made any statement that there were other people under investigation. So that would suggest more than one. So that could be a negative, and that could be that other people get arrested or charged or both. So that could, you know, have a massive impact or an impact. This stuff's working, isn't it? Impact. I normally say impact, but this stuff's got me saying impact, because people already suggested that the police investigation itself has had a bit of a knock-on effect to people giving them money in these donations, which over the last 3 months has been zero, and I think it's a year now since anybody alive gave the party more than 500 quid in donations. The last person to do so, give them more than £500 in donations, was listed as dead. It was from their will. So, you know, all these things could take effect. The mainstream are now telling people and talking openly about the financial problems. That'll have a knock-on effect as more people learn and they go, oh, well, would I want to support this thing that could be burst soon? And obviously the branch form, what will happen, whatever happens with that next, could have other potential issues for the party. So that's the latest. I'm going to probably do another wee video on the story, the information that the Telegraph have got, which I'm sure they're going to go out with tomorrow morning. So I'll probably do a wee video with that and just have it lined up, ready for them, and then, you know, I'll pop it out and give you my spin on my story. Okay, so if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. But most importantly of all, unless you're these pesky people in the SNP or their ever-decreasing cult members, see everybody else. Have a great day. Judy, bye now.